Good evening, Assalamu alaikum, and a very warm welcome to Visionary Pulse with me, your host Farzana Mayet, a segment that focuses on chatting to game changers and change makers. And tonight is certainly no different as we chat to one such game changer and change maker. We say very good evening and a warm welcome to Amina Tambay, who is 51 years young. She's a mom to 9 beautiful kids, 6 biological and 3 inherited. She's an entrepreneur and a baker, wellness and a lifestyle coach. She's the director of Ajmal Bakery, director of Total Robertsham, Millionaire Team Member with Herbalife International since 2014 and 1 million Lifetime Achiever 2021. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Visited over 40 international destinations spreading the word of nutrition. Trained in nutrition by Nobel laureate Dr. Louis Ignario, author of No More Heart Disease, and Dr. David Herber, voted top nutrition doctor in USA for the past 10 years. She was also diagnosed with cancer in October 2021, and she is now 3 years in remission. Amina, assalamu alaikum, and a warm welcome to Visionary Pulse.
Wa alaikum salam. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah for having me.
It's only our pleasure. So, for our viewers, tell our viewers, you're wearing so many hats, but who is Amina?
Alhamdulillah, I'm a mom. I'm a daughter first to 2 incredible people. My parents are still alive, and I make sugar for that. I'm the daughter of Lotus Bakery, Indonesia, and my dad is a pivotal member of the community of Indonesia. I've learned so much from him. I'm also a mother and a wife, apart from everything else, and that is what gives me the most satisfaction, that I can just be me, that I do not have to wear the different hats, because as the personality comes out, I just evolve and I adapt to whatever the situation is, and I move forward. Each day is such a blessing.
Absolutely, and I love that mindset of yours. Each day is such a blessing. No matter what we're going through, always remember that someone is going through much more worse.
Absolutely, and I think with everything that's going on in the world right now, every one of us that wakes up in a warm bed with a roof over our head, with clothing, with food, we just make so much of shukr, and we just thank God for that. Thank Allah for all our blessings.
All our blessings. I mean, that is so true. So, Amina, I'm bringing you back to the question, right? I know you don't like the topic, but I'm going to bring it to you. You do wear so many hats, and that's a given, right? Let's start with the journey of becoming an entrepreneur. Please elaborate on that for our viewers.
So it's not something that I chose. It's something that I
Something
kind
that
of
chose
grew
you?
up with, and I'm grateful. I grew up in a business environment.
Okay.
Prior to my dad opening a bakery, we had a pet shop, we had various other businesses. In fact, we moved 48 places with my dad, and I went
48?
to 48 places. I take my hat off to my mom, because she's really the hero. And I went to 13 different schools, yet I never finished school. I don't have a matric, but I do have that passion, that I'm passionate about people, and I want to serve. So for me, I grew up, an entrepreneur is really about service to mankind, and that's the way I see it. So whether I'm serving my family, whether I'm serving somebody in the community, out of the business, or whether I'm serving in charity, that's what an entrepreneur is.
That is absolutely amazing. And I would think that it comes so naturally to you because you're born and bred and brought up in a family of entrepreneurs who are so incredibly hardworking.
Alhamdulillah, every single one of them are, right down to my nephews and now my sons as well.
And that must be so inspiring as well, for them to see their mom, that is you, doing so much, with your life every day on a daily basis.
Alhamdulillah, I'd like to think that I wake up every day, to give out sadaqah. And it starts with me first, being grateful, gratitude, and then with my children, and then to the birds and the bees and the ants, and
The attitude of gratitude, Amina, it is so imperative. I love that.
Alhamdulillah, and I think also with the cancer journey, that just made me more aware of it.
That every minute is a blessing.
Absolutely.
Okay, so for the benefit of our viewers and many of the youth that would want to become a wellness and lifestyle coach, please elaborate on the process, how long it took, what is required.
Okay, so it's quite simple. Number one is you need to have a dissatisfaction in your life.
So dissatisfied in what way?
Dissatisfied that you are not happy where you are and you want change.
Okay. Yes.
That you are seeking, right? Because knowledge comes to those who seek. And that's the starting of it. You're either dissatisfied with your own personal health, your own well-being, those that are around you, your family and your friends, because being a wellness coach is a very personal journey, and it starts with you, right? If you are completely satisfied and happy and you have no reason to want to go out there and make a difference, then you're not going to succeed. But if you are someone that says that I want to be able to help, firstly, myself, fix who
so
I
it has
am,
to start with you.
that's it, and help my parents or my siblings, my family members, help those around me, whether it's energy, whether it's mindset, whether it's an extra income. You must be in that service mindset to say that this is what I want to do, I want to help, starting with yourself.
And I think that is so important. And you know, have a chance to introspect first to see what is your calling, what is your zen, and then decide to do it, because a wellness coach would then go out there and want to assist others.
Absolutely. The best form of learning comes from within. And you know, it's not rocket science. Like I said, I don't even have a matric, I don't have a degree, and yet, alhamdulillah, you know, I belong to a company that teaches you step from step, you know, basically from zero to hero, and you decide your pace, right? For me, in 90 days, I became a wellness coach, and that's what I actually sit down with a prospect and I do a profiling. What is it that you want? It's not about what I want. And how do we fit what you want into your timeline? Because every single one of us is an individual, right? And we're not a herd of sheep. No two of us is the same. No. And that's what makes, I think, my career and what I do so...
Oh my God, I love the spark in your eye when you're talking about it. That's what I love to see.
I wake up with that, you know what, today I'm going to make a difference in someone's life, whether it's put a smile on their face, or whether it's a quote that they read, or whether it's just doing an evaluation and not expecting anything, because you know, Allah is the provider. So for me, it's giving from my heart, and that's what I've built, alhamdulillah. You know, majority of my team, over 5,000 members in 16 countries, are women at home that just wanted to add value, and has a phone, has access to internet, and that's it. It is so simple.
So the change has to come from you, basically.
Absolutely. Anything in life, if you don't do it with your heart, you're going to have
work.
That's it. You're going to have a start date and an end date.
You know, I mean, I always tend to say this, and I think you will agree with me, that if you love what you do, and there's that famous quote, if you love what you do, you're never going to work a day in your life.
That's it.
And I think that, and again, I'm going to reiterate that I love to see that spark in people's eyes that I'm seeing in yours right now when you're talking of your profession, because that just shows the kind of dedication and the hard work that went into building a brand of yours.
Alhamdulillah, you know, and once again, I give credit to my dad, you know. He instilled this positive mental thinking attitude into us growing up, you know. I was like 12 years old and I read Think and Grow Rich for the first time.
Wow.
And you know, each decade I make an effort to read the book again, because it means something different at different times in your life. So I'm really grateful for that, of growing up in that mindset that no matter what happens, we'll overcome. And as long as you put your faith and your trust in Allah, you know, whatever you do it to the best of your ability. And then you leave it. You leave it to Allah, because He will deliver. Nothing happens without Him.
He's gotten you to it, He's going to get you through it, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so Amina, the wellness journey, you know, deciding to become a wellness coach, how did that happen?
Well, I was extremely unhealthy growing up, even though I grew up in a bakery, right? And I love cakes. So when they say you can eat your cake and, you know, you can have your cake and you can eat it, that I'm living proof that that's so true. That's true. But I grew up because we worked long hours. My parents worked long hours. You know, as a child, I didn't get to have a typical childhood. I basically had to be the next adult, you know, sing to my siblings and my parents worked really hard. And so my eating habits were like just reaching for whatever was there. And being in a bakery, I mean, you can literally reach for anything. You know, my favorite being chocolate eclairs with fresh cream inside, and not that fake cream, the fresh cream, right? So by the age of 9, I was diagnosed already being underweight and depression. And my eating habits were bad. And instead of educating me and teaching me nutrition, I was medicated,
Okay.
like most people, you know, and
Right.
we're talking what, 43 odd years ago, you know, and I grew up just from one supplement to the other, to the other, to the other, one medication to the other, and everybody said, now when you get married, you'll have the first kid, you'll gain weight, and that didn't happen, and the second kid, and that didn't happen, and by the time I was 23, I was tired all the time, you know, with being underweight. I was 42 kilos for my height, and I'm 1.7 meters tall.
Right.
I could literally count my ribs. I wore baggy clothes all the time. My self-confidence was so low. You know, I was a bubbly, kind person, and I'm a confectioner by profession. I grew up in my dad's bakery. He trained me. So I was really happy just working in the back.
Right.
And I tried over 80 supplements.
8-0.
80
Wow.
supplements, with my marhum chacha being a doctor. Anything that came out, you know, trying to improve my appetite, help me with the health conditions, because as a result of being overweight, there are health conditions as well.
Absolutely.
Many, many, many. And eventually I gave up, and that's when Herbalife came into my life. And it came into my life twice before as weight loss, and I didn't need to lose weight.
didn't
So
need
I
to
was
lose
like,
weight. So
no,
you
I
just
don't need
ignored
this.
it at
I
that
ignored
stage.
it, right?
Okay.
And when it came to me as nutrition, and the first shake I had was a chocolate shake, and I fell in love with it.
So it
This
didn't
is-
feel, let's start off there. The chocolate shake that didn't feel like medicine or a
That's it.
supplement
That's
or,
it. The
you know,
taste.
something that aftertaste that, you know, you'd get from supplements.
I promise you, the taste, you know, and I wasn't a chocolate person at that time. I wouldn't really just eat chocolate
Right.
except the chocolate eclair. But the chocolate shake, apart from it tasting so good, that day I didn't have any migraines. That day I could actually play with
So
my
you
kids.
used to suffer with migraines quite
Yeah,
often.
right? And as a result of bad nutrition and
Right.
low water and, you know, various factors. And within 3 days, I started gaining energy, which I never had before, which I had never felt in my life before. And that was the tipping point for me. Within 72 hours, just on the basic shake aloe tea, my digestion started feeling better, because I suffered 14 years with ulcers.
Oh no, and
As
that
a
must have
child.
been really uncomfortable,
I-
especially as a child, like you said.
Absolutely, and I hate that Spasmo gel. I'm so sorry with the passion. And the mint flavor that I actually been put off mint. I barely touch anything with mint unless it's,
Because you've been so traumatized with that.
that's it, you know, the taste of that,
Okay.
you know. I mean, Herbalife even has a choc mint flavor shake, which is divine, and I've tried it a few times, but I'm still off that, you know. It was just that, my own personal, how I started feeling. And what's amazing is within 2 weeks, the energy, everybody around me started seeing it, my brother being the first, my parents. And they
Oh,
started
wow.
seeing my energy, because I wasn't at the doctor that week. I
So
wasn't,
you would frequent the doctors weekly.
yeah, I wasn't having blackouts. I wasn't pulling off on the side of the road with the car because now I can't drive. And, you know, so
So it was really bad.
It was really bad, because my pressure would plummet. And
My word.
I hated summer with a
That is so
passion.
scary, Amina.
I loved winter.
Right.
And now it's the opposite way around. And it was really about the nutrition. And, you know, within that 2 weeks, I was like, I'm feeling good. You know, I mean, GOOD in capitals, bold. I need to find out, what am I putting into my body?
Okay, so you went to dig deeper.
I went into a training,
Okay.
a 2-day seminar, 28 years ago. I'll never forget the weekend, because it's the weekend Princess Diana passed away, but it was the weekend that changed my life. And I learned the basics of nutrition, just the basics of nutrition, of how to feed my body correctly without ever having to diet or to watch what I eat or to deprive myself of anything, you know, and that's where my journey started, because my first customer was my brother.
Okay, because like you said, he's the first one to notice. So
That's it.
what people are going to notice is what they're going to want to invest in
That's
and
it.
into for their bodies.
Absolutely. And, you know, and that made such a difference. And he got amazing results. He needed to lose weight. I needed to gain weight. And I gained 8 kilos of lean muscle within 3 months without gym. And I was like, really? I could now wear jeans with a belt.
Be confident.
And, you know, tuck my shirt in. It just felt so good. My hair started glowing. My skin started glowing. It just made all the difference with the confidence. And then all I wanted to do was help others. And that's how the journey started.
And this was a good 20, somewhat
28 years.
ago.
August 22nd was 28 years.
That is absolutely inspiring, Amina. And obviously, there's no looking back.
No, this is my life. This is who I am. It's a lifestyle. It's like I said, it's not a diet. It's not, I didn't need to lose. I needed to gain. I love cakes. I'm a baker by profession. I've had my own bakery. Currently, I'm teaching my sons to help them open up their bakery.
My word, that's so inspiring, boys running a bakery. And
absolutely, and so for me, it's about balancing, and when your nutrition is right, your mood gets fixed up. Right. Absolutely.
And many of us don't tend to think that the two intertwine, right?
That's it. When your mood gets fixed up, your attitude towards everything that you're doing flows, your productivity increases,
right.
Your energy increases, you become a likable, lovable person that everybody wants to be around, and you just attract this positive energy. So it's amazing how just what nutrition can do for the body.
That is absolutely amazing. So to many of our viewers that didn't even know that, there's a lot of plus that comes with, having the right nutrition and getting to know exactly what it is that you're putting in your body.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so for the benefit of our viewers, Amina, and many of the youth that would want to become, a wellness and lifestyle coach, please elaborate on the process, like how long, what is required, etc.
Well, first of all, you've got to get in contact with me, because
right.
I'm the best at what I do, and I truly believe that, right?
And I love the confidence of you in saying that.
Right? Alhamdulillah. And that is not competing with anyone, because my biggest competition is me, the version I was yesterday,
yes.
And the version that I compete with today, and the version of 10 years. That's who I chase. The person I'm going to be in 10 years' time, and that's my role model and my biggest competition, really. So your starting point is get in touch with me, right? I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on WhatsApp, and we set up an interview. It's a one-on-one, 10 minutes, basically for me to profile you. Then we have trainings, online trainings and live trainings in Gauteng, in KwaZulu-Natal, in Cape Town, throughout the region. We also have trainings in over 4,000 cities on a Saturday, every Saturday, around the world. And that's how I've managed to expand my business into 16 countries. That's the first step, is really getting registered. And it's a minimal amount. When I think about it, it's under 1,000 rands to get started for a multi-million rand business.
Which all depends on you, your productivity.
And everything in life depends on you and your productivity. Whether
absolutely.
you in a job, whether it's a job or whether it's your own business, it's what you put into it is what you're going to get out.
Yes.
The only difference is, I like to say, I get to write my paycheck. So the beginning of the month, I decide and I put down on pen and paper what I want to earn for the month, and I get to work towards that and write my paycheck. So if I want to earn 100,000 rands, I write it down and I work towards it, right? No pain, no gain, no effort, no reward.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's a really simple journey. Within 90 days, you can become a wellness coach.
I was just going to ask, how long does it take?
Within 3 months, you can become, it's shorter than most degrees and courses and whatever it is. You can become a wellness coach. You can have your certificate as a supervisor with Herbalife. You can have an income of over 10 to 15,000 within 90 days, right? And be influencing, firstly, starting with your own family, your own community, your own neighborhood, and making a difference.
Because like in your journey, like you mentioned, that your brother was the first one to see it.
That's it.
And then he decided to try it as well. And I'm presuming he had great success as well. So then, it just followed in great succession.
Well, he just sent me customers like crazy. And that's the thing about word of mouth and referral, is when you really invest in someone else's health, they send you abundance. It's rewards like you cannot believe.
Absolutely. So Amina, moving to a very important topic, and one that you are extremely passionate about, nutrition. I think we've touched extensively on that, but please can we highlight first, beginning with how did you get introduced to Herbalife?
Well, like I said, I was looking for something, and when you seek, it comes. When the intention is right, it comes. And yes, it does take time. It took me 80 different other products before it came, but the patience was there, right? and then the willingness to learn and to be teachable.
But did you think, Amina, at that time, when you just started trying out Herbalife, or were you just, skeptical as with the other products?
I was skeptical, like you
I'm not
cannot.
I'm just trying it, but I know it's not gonna work.
So we human beings, we are
That's why
extremely impatient.
I want that realness, because our
We're
viewers
very impatient,
can
right?
attest to,
We want quick, instant results.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
We human beings, Allah even says in the Quran that we are impatient as human beings. We don't have sabr. And I wanted instant like this. And that's one of the reasons I went through so many products, is because within a week I would quit. I would give it a week, right? Most people don't even give it a week. But within a week, I wasn't feeling good, or I was having digestive problems, or, and here within 72 hours, I was feeling energy that I didn't feel.
Never before.
Never before, right?
Okay.
My digestive tract was feeling cool. And when
Not
you are
inflamed,
someone that suffers from digestive issues like ulcers,
Yes.
that burning sensation, you wake up with it and you go to sleep with it. And here I was feeling a coolness, a soothingness that really felt so good, that I started giving the aloe to my kids as well, and the shake to my kids as
Okay.
well. I was like, if this is good enough for me, it's going to be good enough for them.
Right.
And
And what difference did you see with the kids?
well,
'Cause you would know
alhamdulillah,
each of your 9 kids,
you
how
know,
they were before.
Alhamdulillah, super smart. I have to tell you that. If I tell you, 18, 19 years before, I think most of them were 18 or 19 before they even visited a doctor for the first time, for flu or for anything. In fact, they visited a doctor. The reason is one had a horse ride accident, so she landed up in hospital. The other one was a motorbike accident, so right? The one broke the arm, and it was more accidents that they landed up in hospital.
So those that needed urgent medical assistance.
When it came to nutrition, we didn't know what it was to visit the doctor, and that made such a huge difference. Because when you think about medical aid is expensive, right? It doesn't come cheap. Apart from the medical aid itself being expensive, the time away from your business or the children from school, the downtime makes such a difference. So when I look at it, we've traveled, my kids have grown up eating and learning nutrition, because that's what we ate at home.
And they saw what their mom was doing.
That's it. And I taught them from an early age, and it's what we eat the colors of the rainbow. Right? And that's how easy it is. That's what you need to have on your plate, the colors of the rainbow. We eat with our 2 hands. That's the size of how much food we need, because each of us has our own hands. And if we're eating more than what our hands can hold, then we're overeating. So basic things, teaching them why it's important to drink water, why room temperature water. Yes, we do have the cold drinks, and yes, we have the juices and the
like
ice
you said,
water.
we're only human.
That's it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Amina, we are entering Breast Cancer Awareness Month now. This is something that you were diagnosed with in 2021. How did you first find out?
Well, it's amazing, because I was at my fittest ever, building my 6-pack at 47 years old, or rebuilding my 6-pack at 47 after all the babies. I was 18.1% body fat, size 30, extremely fit. My muscle mass had increased to almost 70% of my body weight. And there was a lot of trauma that year, a lot of trauma in my life that year, with the kids, with family, with my dad had a major triple heart attack, 3 arteries blocked. It was just so much of trauma, and like you said, wearing the different hats, I would just keep it all together. And the week before I was diagnosed, I got a call from our company that I was just awarded. I reached my 1 million volume points award with Herbalife. That's basically touching over 10,000 people's lives.
That's so inspiring.
Yeah. And alhamdulillah, and that's personally, not even my team, because with my team we reached a lot more, but it was something. And our journey started in Cape Town, for the first training. So we decided, my husband and I decided, let's go down to Cape Town and celebrate. We start with our team in Cape Town, and we move upwards through the country, And it was in Cape Town, no pain, no nothing, feeling fantastic, that he noticed something on my left side when I came out of the shower. And he said,
Oh,
that
wow.
doesn't look right. You've got a dent on your left side and it's discolored. And yet I had no pain. And he took a picture. I sent it to my doctor, Dr. Nadia Judgeby. And she says, I need to see you right now. I said, I'm in Cape Town. I'll be back in 2 days. 2 days later, in her offices, 4-centimeter round golf ball size stuck to the
My
left
word.
side. And, you know, it was crazy. Within a week diagnosed. There's cancer. And within 3 weeks, surgery. And one of the reasons my team of doctors worked so fast is because I was healthy.
And at what stage was it
So
diagnosed?
when they first did the first biopsy, it was 2.1. And after the operation and they did the second biopsy, it was 2.9.
Okay.
So initially when it was 2.1, I was told, no chemo, just some radiation. We do your reconstruction because you're so healthy. In fact, I had to gain weight in that 3
Right,
weeks
right.
so that they could take a flap from my tummy area and create a new breast for me. And I'm so
Okay.
grateful. Modern science, medicine
It's
is so
amazing,
amazing.
yes.
You know, it was 9 hours on the table, but worth it because I got a fully functional breast, you know, with feeling and with sensation,
Everything, right.
with everything. And when the second biopsy came back, it was a higher level, and that's when I was told, you need to do chemo. Initially, it was devastating because I had hair till here, which I had never cut for 31 years. And so I knew I'm going to lose my hair. But I decided I'm not going to let chemo take my hair. A day before the chemo, we went to a salon and I cut my hair into a bob, and I still have that length of hair,
Right.
you know, and I said, now I'm going to fight this. And that's where I actually, on the diagnosis, I decided to turn to social media, to open up, because, you know, when your doctor gives you this list of 100 side effects of what chemo can do to you and
Right.
what you're going to go through, you have writing on a piece of paper and there's no emotion to it. And when you start going
Absolutely,
through
yeah.
it, I just felt I needed to share what I'm going through for those out there who are going through the same and who are thinking about, do I go through this or not? And you know, you wouldn't believe in 3 years the amount of people that have reached out to me. Even my doctors have sent so many of their patients to me just to talk about the experience. So I'm grateful that I got to talk about it and get
And I
all the
would think,
du'as.
and I would think, Amina, that also assisted in the healing journey, right?
It did, because I realized there was such a taboo against being ill.
But why do you think that, you know, I would say, you know, when a woman has an illness or when she finds out she has an illness, and I think you'd be able to elaborate more about this, why do we initially feel so scared to now talk about it, to speak out against it, to find that assistance initially?
When I
Why?
find the answer to that, I'll let you know. But I do know when I initially told my mom and my mom-in-law, both of them, the first reaction was, don't tell anyone. And my reply was, I'm telling everyone, because I want the energy and the du'as, I want the blessings, I want the positivity
I want
to
everyone's
flow.
positivity around.
And I promise you, I felt the positivity from around the world, the amount of people that prayed, the amount of Quran khatams that were opened for me that I still don't even know about. You know, the amount of people from
Help
every
comes in various
religion
ways, yes.
that prayed, you know. So for me, that was so special that humanity showed up for me.
So for such an inspiring woman, Amina, I've got to ask you before we wrap up the segment, what is the one inspirational quote that you derive from?
Oh, well, there are so many, but I tell you, every day when I get up and put my feet on the ground, the devil says, oh crap, she's awake. Because I am going to go out there no matter what it is, even if I'm not leaving my home, but I'm going to make somebody feel good about themselves.
That is absolutely amazing. An inspiring message before you leave us, Amina, for all our viewers out there.
Never give up on yourself. You know, you were created unique. You don't have to be anyone else because you were created as you. And just never give up. Never give up on your dreams. No matter how difficult the situation is, this too shall pass.
This too shall pass. Amina, I want to thank you so much for being such an inspiration, such a vibey, positive person on Visionary Pulse today. It was just an honor and a privilege having you. Thank you so much.
Privilege was all mine, and Jazakallah for having me here today.
So that brings us to the end of another wonderful segment of Visionary Pulse. Join me, Farzana Mayet, next week as I chat to another visionary game changer and change maker. Good evening. Assalamu alaikum.